Hello and welcome back to Soulstream LP. I'm of course the game operator and narrator Souls. Welcome to Battletech Road Tech mod. We are working on the Manhattan Project mod, I believe it is. Exact information will be added into the video description, such as where to get the HBS base game and the wiki website for Rogue Tech itself, in case you ever want to check it out. This is by far, I'm just going to go ahead and, no, don't quit. There we are. Let's go to the master volume. We just turn this down just a little bit, because the music does swell a fair bit in this game. There we go. Yeah, if you're interested in going ahead and grabbing yourself a copy, I'll put a link into the Steam page for it, and I'll drop the Rogue Tech wiki page link as well. Rogue Tech is, I think it's safe to say, not exactly a beginner's mod for Battletech. It is an extremely advanced and extremely unbalanced mod. Like, it's not meant to be fair. You are going to struggle. I think the more accurate term is it's more realistic. Now, one of the bright sides with Rogue Tech is that there are plenty of additional mods that are added to it that make it extremely entertaining. You can go anywhere from having everybody equipped with nukes, which is not the way I would strongly suggest anyone does it when they try it out. There's nothing like having a mech deleted halfway across the map without even seeing the enemy. That's always fun. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and do a little bit of a playthrough. I think we're going to do a career. We'll set up a brand new career. We're going to do a general mercenary, I believe. Probably be most beneficial right off the bat, just for everyone who's brand new to the game and just trying to get, what it is or maybe just want to sit back and relax and enjoy somebody struggle and sweat and cry as they go through it. We're going to leave our mech parts at 5. I believe 5 is probably a good number. We can change this number anywhere down to like 3 parts to assemble a mech, all the way up to, is it 8? Yes, 8 parts. I will leave it at 5. 5 is challenging. Usually if you get any more than 5, you get a very prolonged game where you're kind of stuck in a rut, constantly trying to grind out for parts. But 5 seems to be a pretty nice number. A decent challenge, and you have to still kind of grind a little bit at the same time. The company we're going to set us up as a mercenary group. Just because, we're not going to choose any sides in this fight at all. We're going to leave our friendly fire options on. So positioning is going to be key. We not only have to worry about our target, but we have to worry about what's between our target or what's behind our target. Mech recovery chance, we'll leave this at 50%. Be one of those, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Be a toss of a coin. Contract difference, we're going to leave that as 2. So that way, say for example, if you have a 1 or a 2 skull mission to do, you could either go all the way up to a 4 skull challenge or potentially all the way down to a half skull challenge. All kind of up for RNG. We'll leave our contract payment as normal. Salvage will be left as normal. Commander experience level. So this was kind of a toss up for some people, because some people will believe that it makes more sense for your commander to have more experience starting out and make them a little bit easier to use. I'm one of those people that normally does do that. I think what we're going to do this time is we're going to leave it more balanced. Leave it at 35. Advanced mech warriors, so this is going to be one of those chances where you potentially find additional pilots, like better pilots, better stats, skills in the other part of the game. We'll leave that as often. Ronin hire chance, we'll leave it 50%. Pilots per system, so each system you get into, there should be 5 pilots available to hire. We'll leave that at 5. Mech warrior progression, we'll leave that as normal. The exponent here itself, we'll leave that as normal as well. Mech warrior multiplier, we'll leave that as normal. Lethality, this is kind of a one of those kind of hits and misses, I guess. Because you could have never, you could have normal, or half, you could have normal, or you could have straight up lethal, which, if memory serves, what is lethal set at? I won't tell you, but people will die. So we'll set it at normal. It's, again, kind of a coin flip, so you get that odd cockpit shot. It's maybe there's a good chance somebody might survive, or maybe they'll just wind up getting wiped. Starting money, we'll leave at 2.5 million. I was going to say billion. And I was like, oh, wait, nope, that's not the right number of zeros. You can bring this all the way up to like a significant amount, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it all depends on how fast you want to sprint towards getting the Argo upgraded right off the bat. Money itself should never be too hard to come by in Rogue Tech, but the issue is that you have to try and find that sweet balance between trying to get scrap and parts and weapons versus getting your payday as well. You don't ever want to take a contract where you wind up losing money. That makes no sense. We'll leave the mech bay speed at normal, mech bay armor speed at normal, bills at normal, shop prices at their average, and scrap return values at their average as well. All right. That being said, let's hit the start game button and see exactly what happens. So one of the downsides with Rogue Tech is that there is a lot of loading screens that need to go on. There's a lot of information that gets brought up. And there's an awful long time of sitting in loading screens when you're bouncing around or just getting yourself set up. Getting yourself set up is probably about the longest time you spend in loading screens outside of loading maps for missions. So what I'm going to do is I will actually, moving forward, I will be trimming these sections down so that way there's not so much time spent just kind of staring at a black screen, watching a circle go around and around and around and around. And I will return when we have our stuff loaded. All right, and we are back. Welcome to the character creation screen. So this is where you go ahead and set up who's going to be your commander for your brand new mercenary group. We're going to run up, edit our name and appearance right off the bat. We're going to set our pronouns to he. We'll spend some time going through the voices.
I'm on the clock. What do you want?
It's a mother beautiful bridge, and it's gonna be there.
Gotta love Oddball. For those of you who don't know, good movie. Check it out. Kelly's Heroes is a great movie.
Huh? Oh, God, I was sleeping. What do you want?
Salute to the Black Pants Legion.
Yes?
Duncan Fisher here.
Wait, why am I in a cockpit? Is this smart?
What do you need, Commander?
There's a lot of choices you can choose from.
Reporting.
Welcome, Commander.
Talk to me.
We're gonna start on Raj because that's I like that one myself very much. So now the portraits themselves, you have a wild selection to choose from. Some are jokes, some are very in-depth, great art all around actually. Some are memes, some are Mass Effect, as you can see. But what we're going to do is I think we're just going to go ahead and we are going to choose we'll grab this one. Now our nickname, let's go ahead and spend a little bit of time. Call sign will be Templar. First name. There we go. All done. Now we get to choose our stats and some of our starting equipment. So right off the bat, gunnery is going to be playing a very large part. Again, gunnery determines the chance to hit with ranged weaponry. Higher skills and effective counter to evasion and environmental effects that hamper targeting. Piloting. Piloting increases melee hit chance and base sprint distance. It also improves the threshold of stability that triggers unsteady. Tactics. Or sorry, I guess I'm on to touch briefly on this one. Unsteady is the stability of your mech. If you hit unsteady, you lose your evasion, you become easier to hit, and you're easier to knock down. Tactics increase the effectiveness of called shot opportunities. It also reduces the penalty for indirect fire and improves the minimum range of weaponry. This is actually kind of decent. And guts as well. Improves the maximum health of mech warriors. It also reduces the penalty from weapon recoil and increases the threshold of heat that triggers overheated. So just like all things mech warrior, it becomes a very fine balance of DPS versus weight versus heat generation. Very, very important. But what we're going to do on this one, you freeborn or trueborn. A little bit of mech warrior lore here for you. Plans Trueborn, +1 for all stats. That's actually not too bad. Cannot command tanks, that is fine. with me. Interests have always been, let's see what we got. We got Spacer, so you get Space and Honest. We can spend a little bit more time looking into what these exactly mean when we get into the game. You have Gambler, you have Jinxed and Lucky. Tech, so you have Tech and Comstar. Some little speciality with some of that information. History is Lost Tech and Bookish. And Loner, what do you got? Brave plus Assassin. Let's do Tech. If memory serves, I think Tech actually gives us more Mech Bay Tech points. And Comstar gives us bonus towards, I think, either using Comstar Tech or Advanced Weaponry. And there is actually a couple things we want to try and focus on here. Like for Inheritor, you have Quirk, which is Lucky Noble. And you get a random rare mech, which is kind of nice. It can be either good, it can be bad, it can be all the things in between. Veteran, you get Luck and Military. You get a random Bushwhacker, which is a decent starting mech. Freelancer, you get a random Hunchback, which again, decent starting mech. Hunchback, I think, is 50 tons. Bushwhacker is 55 tons. Which your starting mechs being anywhere from 20 to usually around 40 tons is a significant weapons platform difference. Gladiator, you get gladiatorial gear, which is nice equipment for your mech. Test subject, you get a random protomech. Somewhat good, somewhat bad. Mercenary, you get a random advanced unit. Don't know what that is. Could be a tank. Could be battle armor. And of course, we already talked about Inheritor. Then we have our Merchant, which gives us additional 3 million starting money, which is kind of nice. Test Pilot. Neural Implants and Pain Shunt and a random Hatchet Man. Now there's a melee mech to start out with. Now, random Hatchet Man, I think the Hatchet Man's can be anywhere from 45 tons to 60 tons. I think that's the range you can choose from. AWACS or Oracle ACMV. So either a flying unit or a ground tank. Battle Armor. Battle Armor Pilot. You get the spare Battle Armor suit and weapons. Battle Armor is really hard to hit. Doesn't really do much damage, but again, extremely hard to hit. Can tie guys up real quick. Large assortment of items as a soldier. Not too bad. But I think we're going to focus on... Oh, you know what? We have a random advanced unit. We have random Hunchback. And we have random Bushwhacker. And you know what? I think, honestly, Bushwhacker might be a good choice for us. I'm going to hit confirm. Game's going to go ahead and put everything together. War is business as hell. Welcome to the Inner Sphere, Commander. You are a mercenary standing on the bridge of your very own Argo, a mobile space station, looking forward to a life of conflict among the warring factions of humanity. Will you prosper, or be remembered only as yet another thug who couldn't quite get it? Well, let's have us a look, shall we? First things first, we're going to wander over into the engineering system. We're going to get Sumeri to go ahead and get our power conduits online. The reason for this one is that we got our power systems upgraded. We can get our training modules online, and these training modules are specifically training module 1. Gives each of our mech warriors with less than 200,000 total experience will gain 30 experience points per day, which is great for having pilots in the background that you're not able to field because of drop tonnage or no available mechs. Still gaining experience, which is exactly what you're going to need because bad things do happen to your pilots. Just how that one goes. That's being said, let's go ahead and dip into our barracks and have us look and see what we got for pilots. Well, isn't this a list? We got Aramaki.
Waiting for orders.
Congratulations, Aramaki. What do you have? You got Lucky. So Lucky gives us plus 0.5 clustering and minus 10% jam chance, and multi targeting multi plus 10% upkeep. Yeah, that's a little unfortunate. Nobility. Reduces cost and upkeep for aggro morale and med upgrades by 5%. And we have a 50% pilot upkeep on that one. Ooh. Periphery. Pilot spend a child on a periphery world. Solaris Gladiator. What did you give us on this one? 5% punch kick, physical melee damage and stability, and plus 20% upkeep. So right off the bat, we're probably looking at Aramaki as potentially being a melee pilot, if need be. Spacer gives us a reduction of upgrades by 5%. And Technician, plus 1 mech tech. Very nice. So, mech tech. There we go. Tech points are generated each day and spent to repair customized battle mechs. Tech points only apply to 1 mech task at a time. So additional tasks are queued to be worked on next. Additionally, if you assemble a mech, the higher your mech points or mech tech points, the better the chances that the mech is going to be assembled in better condition. I'm not going to say decent condition because you are still putting together scrap, but it does give you that that option. Let's check out Boot Camp. Now these symbols right next to the name. Boot Camp can drive mechs. It can also operate vehicles. Who's he got for service record? He's got Brave. Plus 1 resolved and improved panic resistance. Not bad. Command experience. Plus 1 lance resolve and plus 1 morale. I think Boot Camp would be a very good option to take out in the field right off the bat. Lyrian, that's all right. I'm not going to judge too hard. He gets plus 1 initiative and plus 5% upkeep. And military. Plus 1 bonus health. Minus 1 recoil. And plus 1 OP accuracy. Oh, it's not too bad. I think Boot Camp is actually a pretty good dude.
I hear ya.
How about oh my god. What do you got for a service record? You're bookish. Plus 5 sight and sensors. Brave. Plus 1 resolve. Increased panic resistance. Cautious. Plus 1 evasion generated. Minus 1 accuracy, which kind of sucks. Anything to offset that minus 1 accuracy? Not really. Minus 5% stability taken, improved panic resistance. Honest, plus 1 morale. Mech warrior, no. How about officer? Oh. These are actually not bad rolls. Not bad rolls at all. How about your service record? You got Inner Sphere. Lyrian. Mech warrior and Solaris Gladiator. It's going to be kind of hard to beat the first 3. And we got for Kraken. Your Assassin, which is kind of nice. Might be more beneficial in the later game. How about Popo? What do you got? Keratad. Mech Warrior, you're a merchant. 5% chance for 1,000 sea builds a day. Not bad. And Technician. Increased mech tech. And of course we have our Exo, Darius. Why is Darius here? Jinxed. That's Darius right there for you. All right, so I guess we kind of have our team. We have Aramaki,
Yes, Commander.
Boot Camp,
Yes, boss.
Dan. I can't change your name, Dan. Which makes me sad. So you're gonna be Dan.
What do you need, Commander?
Harmony, not bad. I think Popo might be a little bit better. Not really.
What do you need, Commander?
But Harmony can only operate in mech, so Harmony's probably going to be wind up going to backlines for now. Because we'll have our Lance of Aramaki Boot Camp, Dan, and myself all in mechs. And then we'll probably get someone running around
Receiving you.
taking care of all the other fun stuff. We're going to get our gunnery up.
Good to go.
Immediately, right off the bat, everybody gets a point in gunnery. Because we need it. We need it bad.
What do you need, Commander?
Yeah, it's going to be Popo. How about myself? I'll drop a point in the gunnery. I think maybe Guts. Guts might be a good choice as well. Just for reduced recoil. Now, with that being said, we're going to hit the go button here and see exactly what we get for our mechs. Hey, boss, we're unpacking your stash. That's a pretty fine toy they let you keep there. Sweet. Let's see what they did to my boy. What do we got? What did we get? Survey says an X2 Bushwhacker, 55 ton.
That mech you wanted is back online.
So this was mech filled with gremlins. Oh, good. Let's dip into the mech bay and have a look and see what we got.
Pretty great, right?
Oh, wow. We actually rolled pretty decent. We actually got a 50-tonner Centurion. That is very nice. What do you get for weaponry? 2 medium lasers, an AC-10. Very nice. And an LRM-10. Not bad. So we have... The mechs we're probably going to keep are going to be the Centurion. The Bushwhacker here is probably going to be one of our more obvious takes for now. What do you got for weaponry? Medium pulse lasers, AC-10 Merdon, nice. Machine guns, LRM-5s. Decent all-rounder. How about her stealth? What are you looking at? Proof sensors. I do have endosteel, so that's not too bad. Start with a Beagle probe. Very nice. Medium laser. We got one streak. SRM-6 and an SRM-2. 2 medium lasers and a mask. Spider. What are you sitting at? Ooh, we do have a double heat sink kit. That's not too bad. Medium pulse lasers. 4 medium pulse lasers, which is actually a pretty good kit. Our Jenner. What are we looking at for you, sir? SRM-4. 4 medium lasers. Decent enough. Excuse me, how about our commando? What are we looking at for you, sir? Endosteel. Guardian ECM, we have 1 small laser, flamer, a medium laser, and AMS. So the Firestarter is an interesting unit, mainly for overheating enemy mechs. And then the beauty part of that was you overheat the enemy mech, you shut them down, and away you go. Stop moving, lose all their evasion. You just do called shots on them. You can target the cockpit. A lot of options out there for that. I honestly think that maybe the Firestarter might be something to keep, despite its tonnage and not having a whole lot to it. So if I were to focus on keeping the Stealth, Centurion, Firestarter, and the Bushwhacker, we could strip down the Jenner and the Venom, put them both into storage, and that'll free up some additional parts for us to go ahead and play with the rest of our mechs with. We'll hop into refit. First thing we do is going to strip the cases out. Case doesn't really do much. If you wind up taking a critical hit and you got your ammo in your body, that's... well, I don't know what else to tell you. That's all on you. Always to the legs. If you lose a leg, it's not so bad. It sucks, but you can always get back up again. You lose a torso, well, that's a different story. What do we have for equipment? So we already got Ferro on here. We can put an Endo on here if we want. Give us some additional tonnage. And if we wanted to max our armor. I said max. We probably actually can go full armor on this one. Not quite. Now, would this make sense as a starting mech? Well, you got short-range machine guns, optimal range of 120, max 240, so very short range, very close. You have our LRMs with mag pulse, which is an EMP missile, not too bad. Stun them, jam them right out. And of course, you have the AC-10 Myrmidon for long range, medium to long range. Already got a double heatsink equipped. Nothing else overly special is going to be putting us in for 18 days of work. Just to get this stripped out and validated, but it's probably worth it. Well, the only thing that would make a little bit more sense is dropping, potentially, I thought we had an AMS system on the fire starter. Right, we didn't drop the fire starter. Alright, so we'll validate this.
Logged and noted.
Now, one of the more important things to keep in mind too is that when you're first starting out, you don't really want to focus on big, heavy weapons. You want to focus on more weapons downrange. That's always going to be your better option. Nobody can shoot straight. Everybody sucks. And the more, say, lasers or light weapons you can get firing downrange, the better your chances of survival are going to be. We already have our 2 laser slots already taken up with missile slot and our kinetic slot, so that's fine. Let's put some armor on you, son. You are going to be our larger piece of equipment. I don't have any spare double heat sinks, so I'm not going to put the kit on. Does not make sense at this moment, which is unfortunate because we're still a little bit too hot. But right now, armor is going to be the more important thing. Get our survivability up. Protect our weapon systems if we can. Having that shield armor is not too bad either. There we go. Should be decent enough defense for the rear. Legs. It'll make more sense to do 45 in the back. And 50 on the legs? Probably. Actually, legs should be significantly more. I'm going to bring this down to 70. That should be good enough for tonnage at the moment. Now we can increase our tonnage by, like, say, dropping an engine core in. Oh, sorry. Not an engine core, an engine. But of course, this XL engine requires 6 reserve free slots. And I pulled the fusion core out. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Oops. I think that would be good enough for a Centurion right off the bat. Let's have 2 medium lasers. Do we have any other? We have pulses. That might be an option. Potentially. Switching these lasers for pulses. Well, again, pulse lasers have additional accuracy, so this is kind of good. Even though it is kind of a cluster weapon. I might actually want to do that anyways. How much does it take our heat down? Fair bit. We stripped that LRM-10 out of here. What are we left with? Bang on. Now, is it worth pulling the LRM-10 out? Potentially. At least for now. Yeah, LRMs... they're nice. It is 50 damage. And we're not always going to be firing LRMs. But the issue lies in our tonnage. We are overweight and we really don't want to be that. We also want to bring our armor up for starting out. Pulse lasers are better, I think. Yes, I'm going to see that's good, and maybe I'll put something on one of the smaller units. Balance that out. Let's get our armor up. And then we can focus on what we need to do. Any additional weight we might have. That leaves us with about approximately 1 extra ton. Man, a heat sink would be nice right about now. No room for lasers. Actually, this leaves us with a significantly more tonnage than what we thought, because there's no need for that kind of ammo there either. Well, this might not actually be as beneficial as I thought it was going to be. We'll come back to that. Let's have a look at our stealth. You, sir. You have a lot of stuff on you. Your Beagle probe, your SRMs. What are you sitting at for heat? Not too bad. We're going to swap out your medium lasers, though. Put some pulses in. And we might strip out 2 jump jets. 4 jump jets, because I guess they were 0.5. This mask, is this even going to serve any purpose? Probably not. Not at this moment. And actually, if I really wanted to, what are these pulsers ranged at? 240, so this is pretty close as is. Pulses for brawls, SRMs for right up in your face. Move that all to the feet. Three gives 1 additional accuracy. Would it make more sense with, say, an SRM-4? Somewhat. The 20 damage, you have 40 on the table. Gives us 10 alpha shots with the ammo we have, which should be sufficient. And gives us the option to go ahead and spike our armor. Now, one thing to keep in mind too is that we're going to be spending a lot of time in the mech bay here, either for repairs after mission, or even potentially coming back in here and setting some things around and putting some new parts on the mech. Little under tonnage, that's fine. We can go ahead and worry about that later. We'll validate this.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
And our fire starter. What do you got? What's our medium laser range? 180 to 360. Fire starter is going to be pretty much brawling regardless, so strip these mediums out. Drop some pulses in. Heat efficiency is terrible. It's hard to drop that in and then strip these heat sinks out. It still leaves me without accurate or additional heat sinks, doesn't it? Yep, because I don't have the kits for it. That's fine. What to do? Engine core. Nah, that's not going to help. Let's go ahead and strip all these jump jets. All right. Is it worth it for the flamers? Big question. Big question. Well, obviously we want to try and focus on getting a better cooling system, if nothing else. You're not going to be able to get much for Alpha Strikes. Print 9 hexes, which is not too bad. Does not help with the armor situation, though. I would very much like to have armor. AMS, this is a 1? Level 1, yes. Now, I don't think the AMS level 1 actually covers more than just the mech itself. Let's find out. So we'll get that tweaked. We'll go back to the Centurion.
Know when that's done.
We'll move the ammo around because that didn't stick.
Log and note. Shouldn't be too hard.
And let's have a look at the command center. Where are we sitting exactly? What is available? There is nothing we can do at this world no matter what we do. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Let's check out navigation.
The Argo may
So-
not be fully functional yet, but she's space-worthy enough for our purposes.
So, whether for trade, settlement, or military expedition, travel via our patent and KF drive should have no surprises. Comstar is proud to announce the updated MercNet StarMap interface. We get store filters, biome filters, difficulty filters, and extended coverage. That's nice, and this is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be triggering for at least one skull. Let's see what's available on the map. So we're at this location here. If we head to Altair, it's an agricultural location. Large population, manufacturing, medium gravity well. There is mega city, mining, moons, recreation. There's research here. It's very rich. This might be a good spot for us to start at. So we'll go ahead and travel to this location.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
And actually, you know what? We should pause real quick and manage our tasks. It's always beneficial to have the longest or the most arduous tasks at the very bottom, so those slowly get done, while the more important ones or the quicker ones are wrapped up faster. I say with air quotes, more important or quicker ones wrapped up faster. Is what it is. Alright, one mech completed.
Hey boss, we've just completed those upgrades.
One upgrade done. Let's get our training modules up and running then, please.
But we'll get it done.
10 days. So we should actually have our training modules right up by the time we actually hit up. Not bad. Flashpoints. Intersphere politics impact everything they touch, even down here in the periphery. Flashpoints between the great houses are developing all over the map, and our faction reps are paying good money to resolve them. We're talking about high-risk, high-reward jobs composed of multiple combat drops with rewards at the end of the match. I'll post any active flashpoints to Star Map, Commander. You can review them whenever you're ready. So, actually, even in Rogue-Tech, the way I've set it up is I've even set the main storyline for Battletech, which is the Aurelian restoration. I've set that up as a flashpoint too, so even if we're playing Rogue-Tech, we can even wander back in and actually hit up the main story at some point when it becomes available. But for now, we're just going to focus on trying to get to our first job location if we can.
Those upgrades you asked for are online, Commander.
Very nice.
Waypoint reached, Commander.
All right. First things first, have a look at the store, see what's available. Anything shiny and new we might want to have on our hands or on our side. Well, there's a Thorn available, a couple tanks, a bolt-on AMS, some flamers, LRM-5s. Advanced Zoom Mark 1. Not too bad. Bunch of engine cores, heat banks, heat sinks, PPC capacitors. Not bad. Increases 20% PPC damage when active. Well, does kind of increase your heat and runs the risk of damage as well. I don't think there's anything really we want to grab at the moment. What do we got in the command center? What is available for some missions? There we go. So now we have an options for something that's a little bit more better suited for what we're going to be trying to do. A half skull or one skull, just to get our feet wet for a little bit, get some money, get some parts, and get ourselves ready for the battlefield. So unfortunately, the Bushwhacker itself is still going to be about 15 days, which means we're going to run through a monthly report here. It's going to cost us a fair bit of money just waiting. So we're a little bit behind the ball right off the bat. That's not too bad. The crew is bubbling with enthusiasm about a local endurance competition. The morning briefing, Darius says Dan has requested permission to compete. Given the general interest, I'd like you to make the call. Sumari says, let him go. It'll be entertaining. Let's give him some shore leave. He's probably going to wind up getting hurt. No! Dan returns to Yargo later that week. You see him in the mess hall, regaling listeners with tales of the race. Commander, thanks for letting me participate in the endurance competition, he says enthusiastically. I didn't win, but I feel like I did pretty well. Those locals, wow, they have endless stamina. I managed to keep up with them for a while, but along the way I got tired. Spending 24 hours baking in an overheating mech cockpit is probably less exhausting. So Dan has gained the following tags: athletic, so I think that actually increases his health. 1 bonus health and faster fatigue recovery, which is not bad. Pretty good. And he's got high spirits, which is even better. This will actually put better morale for us on the battlefield. And morale, the higher you can build up your morale, the better off you're going to be, because it adds additional bonuses like accuracy and gives you the options to use special abilities in combat. Very nice to have. Okay, let's hit the play button. Finances. That's costing us about $348,000 for everything we have on hand. Pilot expenses, operating costs, the whole nine. We're going to leave it at $348,000. Now, we can boost the amount of money we spend a month if we wanted to, but if we're not careful, that'll bankrupt us almost immediately. So the bonuses are nice, but not overly required. Let's spend the next 5 days here.
Job's done, Commander.
And all of our mechs are ready to rock and roll. Now, unfortunately, we've kind of run a little short on time, so I'll probably be getting boots on the ground next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to have any sort of idea or suggestions you'd like to see for our crews, by all means, drop them into the comment section. We're going to run we're going to run Battletech here for a little bit on the channel. I know it's, especially comes down to Rogue Tech, there's really no end game aside from whatever you decide to just kind of put your hands up in the air and say, yeah, I did it. You have your mercenary levels. I believe you can actually check it out here. No, you can't. But you know, you have the option of customizing the mercenary group you happen to have. As far as endgame goes, yeah, there's not really much for endgame. There is pretty much whenever you're done is when you're done. I don't know what we're going to be planning on doing. I do have the options for super heavy mechs unlocked in Rogue Tech, so if we want to start hunting 200 tonners or more, that option is there. Maybe get a whole lance of 200 tonners. That's probably going to be pretty hard to do, I'm going to assume. But we will be running Rogue Tech here for a little while on the channel just to see how it generates interest. Again, with the channel being as small as it is, we're kind of putting feelers out, trying to make, trying to broaden our base, I guess you could say, and see where everybody's interest kind of lies. So if you like what you're seeing here, don't forget to hit that like button, throw a comment down. Feedback is great, good and bad. Obviously, I haven't played Battletech in quite some time. This is not exactly a brand new game. It did come out a couple years back. I can't exactly recall when it did come out, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still one of my more favorite Battletech games. So yeah, if you really like what you've seen so far on the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I guess the appropriate ending for this video is probably going to be welcome to the new year. Welcome to 2023. I hope your year is going to be beneficial for all. Stay warm, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.